How are they? Oh, we'll get to it.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Overcast Gamer Show. It's only been 7 days this time instead of a fortnight, but I've been dying to get back in and have a chat with you guys and my co-host here, Regan and Balthazar. Say hi, guys.
Hey guys.
Hi guys.
How are we?
Good. Yes, I've been away for a little bit, but I'm back, and I've been craving some games while I've been away. I've actually dived into a couple of things, but I mean,
it's good to have you back, by the way, Abe. I feel like it was good to have you back. There was definitely a void in the last podcast. You know.
Thanks, man. No, I really enjoyed listening back to you guys and all the Final Fantasy nonsense. That was
Again, it's one of those things we really just had to capitalize on. You know.
You did. I can't blame you for it at all. It was, I may have fast forwarded through some of it. Got to be honest, but no, it was great. We're diverse here at OCG, and that's what it's all about, right? So
yeah.
I'm just going to give you guys a hot take while it's on my mind. I was looking at the PlayStation New Zealand digital store this morning. Not the best of ideas, and I saw Call of Duty on the front page there. Now, Infinite, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, I think it is Infinite Warfare. Yeah, it will be, because Infinity War is the Marvel thing, and it's dangerously close but different.
Warfare Infinity.
Yeah, Infinity Ward's the company, right?
So there's a shitload of warfare, is what we're taking from that.
Yeah, I'll just say Infinity Wardfare. Yeah. That's coming out in November. Pretty actually keen on that one after the E3, showing it wasn't actually that bad looking compared to previous CODs. And plus it comes with the Modern Warfare Remastered, which, is one of my favourite games of all time. So
yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are looking forward to it, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Despite getting the most dislikes I've ever seen on a YouTube video ever, I think a lot of people have actually turned around on that a wee bit after the E3 thing and actually quite curious about it. But anyway, I was looking on the PlayStation Store and came across COD, and I was like, oh yeah, I wonder how much it's going for. $179.95. Now, given this is with the Season Pass and Modern Warfare Remastered, that's still absolutely ridiculous, right?
You can buy a lot for $170.
I think the thing that gets me is, you said, Abe, you saw it on the PlayStation Network store. And obviously in New Zealand, we're no strangers to prices being marked up, and I'm no stranger to walking into EB and seeing a collector's edition for $180. But that's a physical collector's edition that you pick up and get physical swag with it. This was a digital download.
Yeah.
You get nothing. You get data installed on your PlayStation.
Exactly. You probably get some camo skins or whatever, but that is absolutely ludicrous. $180. Like that, with the translation, the currency translation from US dollars, that should be for us about 130. I'd never pay $130 for anything, let alone a Call of Duty game. Yeah. But that's still a $50 markup on that. What the hell is going on there?
Especially when you consider that they say it's something like, I don't know, we've got to pay to get, ordinarily the argument would be like, because of how remote we are.
Yeah,
saying,
import tax or whatever it is.
But this is a digital download. There's
no import.
Makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I actually tweeted to PlayStation New Zealand and called them out on this, so I'm interested to see what we get back.
Sorry, just a can of Pepsi there.
See if we can stir the pot a wee bit and actually, get a reaction from them or get something done about it. Because I just feel bad for my fellow New Zealanders. That's daylight robbery.
It's pretty impressive. But this is the thing, right? Is that there's a market there, and so it's just classic supply and demand. They know that there's enough people out there who are driven to go out and buy those games.
Yeah, I think it is. We're in a completely different mindset because, Abe, you said yourself you'd never pay, 180 for anything. But what if someone were to tell you, because this is pretty much the mindset that I feel COD players are in, because they play COD. That's what they play. They play it until the next one comes out. So what if someone were to come to you, Abe, and tell you that a game was about to release, and you totally believed them. You totally felt that this was exactly the case, and they were telling the truth. A game is about to come out. It will cost you $180 to buy it, but you will not need to make another... You won't even feel inclined to make another single game purchase after buying this one for another 12 months. You would just be so stoked and so absorbed and so wrapped up in this one purchase, and you would feel like it would never, age for you. It would always be a unique, fresh and fun experience for the full year until suddenly this magic spell was broken and you were no longer satisfied with it. Would you then be more inclined to pay $180 if you never bought another game for the whole year? You never even felt the desire to buy another one because you never ran out of interest and passion for this one that you just picked up.
I mean that's definitely a point. I'm just I don't really trust people that much in general, and B I found in my old age my attention span just wanes so easily. It's just I'll be playing something for a couple of hours and I'll just be like I'm done with this now. Like Fallout 4, I put in about 30 hours, didn't even get up to Diamond City, and just decided to chuck it in. I was like, all right, okay, by follow this, I'm done.
I mean, I understand what you're saying there, Balthazar, but at the same time, I struggle to put myself in that mindset, like tying yourself down to that and that kind of argument. It just, is that what Call of Duty players are like?
I feel like it is. I think all they buy is Call of Duty, and they buy the next one when it comes out. Which means these annual releases for them are a good thing, unlike everyone else being like, oh god, the next annualized COD release kind of thing. I think it is literally they buy. It's kind of like the the FIFA players and the Madden players. Like they buy the annualized release and they get a full year of content and enjoyment out of that, and they don't really buy anything else. You're obviously an exception to that because you do play. Was it Pro Evolution Soccer? On and off, but... But the hardcore fans of those sorts of franchises, they buy that one game a year, and that's it. Maybe they buy what they consider to be the spin-off, just for a bit of, changing it up. So, a COD player might buy Battlefield 1. Because they're like, oh, it's similar, but it's a bit of a laugh, just a bit of a gimmicky.
We'll get on there and just just thrash.
Play a few hours before I get serious and go back to COD.
So you think the perceived value is probably what tips it over the edge for these people kind of thing?
I think it is, but the perceived value for someone like me who's not in that boat, I'm well on the outside of that, the perceived value is the exact same as the perceived value of any other game.
Yeah,
I'm going to play it until I'm done with it and then going to put it down, so why would I take a chance and pay 3 times the cost that I would for another game?
Do you suppose it's the brand fascination as well, and that, let's say, for example, people when they buy an iPhone, you buy an iPhone and it's not as good as other varieties of phones that you can buy, purely like objectively, when you look at the stats and you look at what it can do and you consider that you're going to be tied down in terms of operating system, etc. But they do it anyway because they went, it's just Apple, it's just better.
You kind of get locked into it. There's a bit of a difference with Apple, I find, as someone with an iPhone who agrees absolutely that the iPhone is inferior to many other phones out there. You get locked into it because you get your apps, you get your books, you get your podcasts, you get everything, and they're all synced up on your iCloud account. So if you were to change to an Android account, you could download equivalent things, but I'd lose all my kind of back catalogue. I'd lose my progress through the current things I'm listening to and reading. Would have to manually find those again. It's like I'm locked in that now. I can't. It would be too much work to set up on an Android phone, so I'm just stuck now.
So you're penalised for your disloyalty.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I guess there isn't necessarily that analogue there with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, at the end of the day, it's mind-boggling. Regardless, it's
it's a real shame
for a computer game.
It's a real shame because this is the first COD I've actually been interested in since the first Black Ops, and I can't remember when that was. It doesn't actually seem like that long ago to me, but I'm pretty sure there's been about 6 Call of Duty since then.
Actually, I've got a good point, just because it's right here and I just saw it. This was 170.
When he says this, he's sliding out
the Dark Souls 3 box that we didn't do an unboxing. We played it, but you guys were there when I first opened it.
Oh yeah.
So that was $10 cheaper than this digital collection for Infinity Warfare. And it came with a lot of physical stuff.
Yeah, like a full art book, a massive kind of like statuette type thing, which is
on the desk.
Maybe you get a digital art book and a digital statue.
Digital statue, you can set it as your PSN theme.
Yeah.
And it just sits there slowly rotating.
Yeah. Well, it's the same. It's the same kind of thing as skins, right? Like you get this sweet new skin. Like, we're just not in the right.
I paid $10 more for Overwatch to get like 5 skins.
No comment.
Yeah, it's just a bit stupid, and it brings me down a wee bit because I was actually quite excited and was thinking about buying this day one. I mean, granted, this is with the season pass, the version that we're referencing, the $180 one, and I'm definitely never keen on that. And they are bringing all the Modern Warfare 1 maps by December for free for everyone. They were doing 10 at the start, and they're going to do the next 6 between now and December.
Oh, so is that the multiplayer maps, like?
Yeah. So every single Modern Warfare 1 map is going to be remastered by the end of December.
That's cool.
Which is pretty cool, and free for everyone, which I didn't think was going to be the case. I thought they were going to try and sell them back to people, you know.
It's probably because it's not free, because you said that to get the Modern Warfare 1 remake, you have to get this $180 version of the game. So you have paid for it. I'm not entirely sure that's the case. I think this one might be with the Season Pass, but there's definitely the version with Modern Warfare 1 remastered is about 120, 130. I think the Season Pass just adds on like another $50 or $60 or whatever it is. So that sort of brings it up to this point. But I mean, still, I'm not paying $120, $130 for one game I already own that looks a bit better now, and one game I don't even know if it's going to be decent. Yeah,
it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going and seeing what kind of price it is in EB Games, because that'll be a laugh. It
can't be any worse than this, surely. I mean,
it's EB Games we're talking about here.
Yeah, it's very true. You should take a buttonhole camera in there with your rig or something and do a wee bit of
phone in,
just get real belligerent.
This will be a good laugh as well, Abe, for you, because we frequently, laugh at EB's prices, especially around one particular title, because Dick Smith sold it so much cheaper immediately, and that is, of course, Doom. And yes. I was at the EB Games in the Queensgate Mall on Friday.
Yep.
And EB was making a big deal out of the amazing special price they had on Doom, $100. So that's about $30 cheaper than their normal price, but still many, many dollars more.
And when did Doom come out? Sorry, May, was it? I'm pretty sure.
You can still walk into JB Hi-Fi and get it for $65, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe $69.
That's absolutely ridiculous. I'd love, Ben, you should definitely go into EB and just ask them about it. Just be like, hey, this came out in May. JB Hi-Fi has it for $65. I know your price match, but can you just tell me why you're selling it for $100?
Yeah.
Just want to know why. What's the deal there?
Yeah.
We want answers. Answers, EB.
Yeah. I know you probably can't give me answers because you're just the guy that works here. But
yeah. I mean, I don't want to be a dick about it or anything and harass anyone in CS because they do very good work. But I would like to know. I would like to know why there's like some insane markup at EB Games in particular / GameStop overseas. But yeah, but strange. And in contrast to that, I just want to bring up the point that CD Projekt Red, our good friends, now the Witcher 3 Game of the Year edition came out recently, which I mean everyone's overjoyed for that because it's one of the best. It's one of the best games in the generation for sure, almost inarguably. Now this has come out on the PlayStation New Zealand store as well digitally, and they're actually matching the American price. So the Game of the Year edition, last time I checked, for The Witcher 3 on the New Zealand PlayStation Store was $75.
Wow.
Yeah. That's, I mean, you can't say much more. Good guy CD Projekt Red, right? Like.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
So obviously with Game of the Year edition, you're getting the full game plus the expansions, and the DLC was free.
Yeah, so, absolutely. You get all those free 16 DLCs, then you get the 2 expansions, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, for $75, which is cheaper than most new release games, and you get like an amount of content that, like, to be fair, I still haven't finished the main story of The Witcher 3.
Really?
And that's that came out, what, March 2015 or something?
You could get 2.5 copies of Game of the Year Witcher 3 for the price of one Infinity Warfare to collectors, and each copy of The Witcher 3 is more than 2.5 times the size of that game.
You could buy 2 copies and just go and give one to someone who's bought a PS4 and just say, hey man, like, this is what you should be playing. This is what's going to show off what this console can do.
Yeah,
so I think it's a lovely gesture.
If you're out there, you're listening to this, and you haven't played The Witcher, and you're thinking to yourself, just do it. Just go out and buy that game on that deal, because that's a fantastic deal. You will play it for hundreds of hours and love it. It's like, even with the expansions, they probably could have slapped that on a disc and sold it for a decent chunk of change, and people still would have really loved it.
Oh, easily. Yeah. They could have sold that for $100, and I wouldn't have been belligerent. Because it's just so good. Like, I'm not an RPG gamer really at all. Like, I dabbled in them. I only really started getting into RPGs when Skyrim came out, because I thought, man, this game looks pretty cool. And ever since then, I stay away from RPGs, but every now and then one will catch my eye, and The Witcher 3 was one of those, just because it's such a damn well-made game.
The Witcher 3, believe it or not, because it took me a long time to buy my PS4, The Witcher 3 was the game that inspired me to actually go out and buy one.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, so, and you can't, no complaints at that.
No, you can't fault them for that at all. So, yeah, I mean, just to put things into perspective, there you go, Activision. CD Projekt is doing humanitarian business, and you're bleeding motherfuckers dry. So, good one. Balthazar, you've got a new screen, have you?
I do. I have a new monitor. I love it. It's pretty great. It's only a 27-inch, which could be seen as a downgrade, considering I was using my controller on my 50-inch 4K TV until recently. But it's 1440p.
Life is tough for gaming.
It is. Oh, it's the worst. Yeah, but it's 1440p. It's 144 hertz refresh. It's pretty flash. I like it.
Sitting in front of it right now, actually, and we've got the old monitor to the right of it, which actually, to be fair, looks fine.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
But then you glance across to the left, and this thing looks pretty special.
Yeah. This is the newfangled model.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the because Abe, you probably, I don't know too much about monitors and what the numbers mean.
I know sweet bugger all.
What is tell us all about it.
It is hard to put into terms that people understand if they don't understand it, kind of thing. Because it's just numbers, really. But let's say
about philosophy.
I'll put it into like kind of the simplest terms I can, which isn't entirely accurate. It is just a way I found. For example, when I explained it to Hannah, it made sense to her in this context. So basically, imagine you're playing your PS4, your games are locked at 30 FPS. Nothing you can do about it. They're locked at 30 FPS.
Sure.
Yep.
You get a sweet gaming rig. You suddenly, maybe Regan, you've noticed what you've played, you suddenly realise you're getting 140 FPS or something off the graphics card you've got. But what's your monitor doing? Because if it's 60 hertz, you're not getting 140 FPS because your screen isn't refreshing as much as your game is updating.
Can only theoretically get 60
so you'll
frames.
only get 60 FPS kind of thing. This screen is 144 hertz, so I actually get what my PC can give me. Kind of thing. So a big thing that people, and I was the same when I built my first PC, I didn't think about it at all, that your monitor is a piece of hardware that drastically affects your game experience.
Right.
I just thought, it shows me it, and as long as my PC is powerful, it will run things. But if my monitor isn't capable of showing me what my PC is doing, I'm not getting, I didn't realize how much more I could have gotten out of my games until I got my new monitor. Purely went into the game, updated the refresh rate to 144 hertz, and then I was like, holy shit. I can see more of everything. I mean, particularly because I've been playing a lot of Overwatch again recently, and it's just things like just seeing shit I couldn't see before, like bullets flying past me. And it's like, because the speed they're flying past you is much too quick for a slower refresh rate monitor to see the full movement through the air. But it's like, no, I see the full movement. I see it coming at me. I see it whizzing past me, kind of thing.
Right.
So
it's akin to me installing 16 gigs of RAM into a computer running Windows XP. Something I actually did.
Yeah, so pretty much it is. You're giving all this overkill into a system that's just not capable of reading it and displaying it and utilizing it. So basically with this rune, as I said, that's a very simplistic explanation. It's not actually the FPS that the game's delivering that you're seeing, but that's just a way... I'm sure that makes sense to you guys, and that is basically the difference it's doing. It's able to show me what my computer is actually rendering as opposed to showing me sort of half effects. It just isn't updating frequently enough to show me the other half.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
I actually remember some games won't even run unless you have 60 hertz compatible monitor or television. I remember in 2009 when I was at a hostel at university, I bought Modern Warfare 1, surprisingly. And I wanted to play it, but my TV I had was a CRT. Obviously, it was before sort of the discount on all the HD ones came around, and I think I had about a 14-inch CRT, and it just wouldn't run. I turned on Call of Duty. It's like, no, it's not 60 hertz. It can't run it. So I went down to Cash Converters. This is really showing the age of the story, right? I went down to Cash Converters on Cuba Street and picked up a 22-inch CRT tube television. Because it was 60 hertz, and I carried that beast back up that bloody hill to Victoria House on the terrace just so I could play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. It was insane. Like I can't even believe that was a thing that happened now.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it sounds like you're enjoying that, Balthazar.
Yeah, it's got me to go back and replay some games that I was kind of on the fence about going back to because I'd already played them since I built my new computer. And everything looked better, but just kind of games that I remembered looking good and thinking, I wonder if it looks even better now, and just kind of seeing that extra bit of, not depth, because again, it's not, the actual fidelity of the graphics isn't better. I mean, the colour's a lot richer and deeper, but yeah, just seeing kind of the movement of the world on a whole new level kind of thing, like everything just looks a lot nicer. And it's one of those things that you don't really get, talking about it doesn't really get it across. If you see the comparison side by side, which you can't do if you don't have 144 hertz monitor. It's like watching on TV, watching those ads for 4K resolution, and you're like, well, I don't fucking see the difference because my TV is not 4K.
Yeah. The brights are so much brighter, and the dark blacks are so much blacker, and you're like, well, you're showing this to me on my screen,
TV,
so I
can't
see that the blacks are blacker.
So it really is one of those things that you don't get the difference until you just get it yourself and see it and experience it. But no, there is a pretty big and pretty perceivable difference. It's not one of those things like, people saying, I can see the difference between Blu-ray and DVD, which I'm sure a lot of people can. I can't. This is one of those things where you would have to be blind to not see the difference. You can see the difference. It's immediately there kind of thing.
Oh, very cool. So, do you want to run into a couple of things you've been playing on that? I can see a few
Sure,
bits.
yeah. So jump into what we've been playing. I mean, we'll start off with the one thing I haven't been playing on it because actually I've barely been playing it. I love Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I think it's great, but since getting my new monitor, I've not played it. I was playing a bit of it, but it's kind of dropped out. It really sucks because I was really enjoying the game, but I think it's like we were mentioning earlier, that short attention span stuff. We're getting older. I can't stick with game. If I don't finish a game within like 5 days, I typically move on without ever finishing it.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So yeah, I've not been playing a lot of that because of this monitor. Mostly I've been playing a lot of Overwatch because Season 2 of the Ranked has just started. And the new map also came out. Now, you may be confused. You may look at our document of what we've been playing and see Dark Souls 3 on there. Actually, Dark Souls 3 Icon World Edition is Overwatch. They released a new map called Icon World, which has a pretty awesome Dark Souls reference in it, which is basically just the bonfire, the iconic bonfire from the Dark Souls games, is hidden in a back room that looks a hell of a lot like one of the little areas with a staircase on either side. And it's clearly a nod at Dark Souls. And at first, on the surface, it looks like that's the only nod to Dark Souls that came out in this latest update. But then I also realised that they gave every single character in the game a sit-down emote. So you can all go to the bonfire and sit down around it. Like, it's pretty great. I love it.
It's pretty cool. There's no connection between Blizzard and FromSoft, right?
No, there's none at all. They just did it because, I mean, it's what Blizzard do. Blizzard have pretty dedicated fans, and so they appreciate and fully understand a dedicated fan base. So they blatantly just went and put this in because they, kind of respect the fans and what From themselves do and the worlds they create and everything. So just put their own little nod to it in there, which I'm sure I'm not the only fan who's noticed it and thinks it's pretty great. So I've been playing a lot of Overwatch. The new map's pretty cool.
So that kind of interested me because you were really excited. It was interesting to how excited you got just for the release of one new map.
Yeah.
You were sending us messages, and, hey, check out this video, man. There's a new map coming out. I was like, dude, it's just a map. It's a single map. It just, I don't know, boggles the mind. Oh, yeah.
It's weird, and it's how I can kind of. We were talking earlier about the Infinity Warfare thing, and kind of my guessing as to how they feel about it, and it's because I'm kind of there. I'm not that dedicated a fan, but I do get kind of. Yeah, that mentality that I know that Overwatch is a game I'm going to be playing for a long time. I keep going back to it. Yeah, I had a few weeks where I didn't play it at all because other stuff came out and I was playing other things. But as soon as there's nothing big, that's either just come out or nothing major that I'm playing, it's just straight back into Overwatch, really.
Would you say that's your game of the year so far?
It is a really hard one to judge. I'd say if we're purely if I were to judge game of the year in terms of enjoyment out of a single title and time spent in a single title, then definitely, Overwatch, hands down. I'm hoping it's not my game of the year, not because it's not great. It is fantastic, but I always hope that no matter how good a game is, if it's not the end of the year yet, there's going to be, a better one that comes out by the end of the year.
There's one that I'm sure you and Regan are hoping to be game of the year.
hopefully.
Maybe.
But yeah, and I think really people are crazy if they don't always hope that if it's not the end of the year yet, they haven't found their game of the year, because you're a bit crazy if you don't want a better game to come out.
Oh, absolutely. I have a bunch of games that are still to come out that I'm hoping to be, game of the year. It's going to be hard to beat Inside, which is my current game of the year. But I mean, I definitely hope for better stuff to come out. Sure.
Yeah, so definitely so far it is my game of the year, and that's mostly what I've been playing because out of all the things I've loaded up, it's the one that I'm getting the most benefit from my new monitor on. As I said, seeing stuff like those bullets, my accuracy has gone up by 15 to 20% per round since getting my new monitor. Just because I'm able to kind of track targets better and see all those extra frames of animation to hit them. And then I've just been really playing, since Overwatch is Blizzard, obviously when I start up my computer, I start up the Blizzard launcher. So I've kind of just been going back through old Blizzard games that I enjoyed. I restarted playing the first StarCraft 2 expansion, Heart of the Swarm. Been having fun with that again. It's not one that's hugely influenced by my monitor. It's kind of also just that my monitor is bigger than my old one and has richer and deeper colours and everything. What Regan was saying before, that whole deeper blacks and brighter whites and all that stuff. So I'm just kind of taking it all in again. And really that's been my go-to lately. I mean, obviously Steam has a much larger catalogue and I've got a few other shortcuts there. But if I'm loading up the Blizzard launcher for Overwatch anyway, because I tend to play an hour or two a day, it's just easy from there to just load up other Blizzard games and have a go at them. So yeah, I've just really been replaying old stuff and launching pretty much every game I have on my PC just to go into the options and change the resolution and refresh rate to 1440p, 144 hertz, and then close the game.
Nice.
I'm ready for when I want to play it.
Doing them as a bit of a tech demo.
Pretty much. Yeah. One of my first, whenever I get new hardware or anything, is always I just go to The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Oh, nice.
It's a really nice looking game. And Steam, actually, if you purchase the original, you got The Vanishing of Ethan Carter redo for free, which was basically a HD remake of an already HD game. It was just better textures and everything. It was a visual update. So I load that up whenever I get something new. When I got my new video card, when I got my new monitor, I just load that up, update to the highest I can go, and just walk around for a bit and have a look at things.
No, it's the video game equivalent of the Fish demo in all electronic stores that they have playing on television.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Nice one. Regan, what have you been up to, man? Apart from coming back from holiday, welcome back. Of course.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it's good to be back actually. I got to the point where, yeah, the holidaying was starting to get to me, and I needed to just not holiday for a bit. What have I been doing? When I got back, I was a bit frugal on this trip because I had in the back of my mind that when I got back, I was going to use whatever money that I could, not spend on pizza to build a computer.
All those fine European cuisines to sample, and you just get pizza.
Yeah,
it's always a struggle.
In Italy, we literally the whole time we were in Italy, which was like 8 or 9 days, nothing but pasta and pizza. Literally.
That sounds like absolute heaven.
It was amazing.
It also sounds to me like a free pass. It's not racist anymore. If you just, the only thing you link to Italy is pasta and pizza. It's just facts.
Hey, stereotypes exist for a reason.
It's not a stereotype. Yeah, it's just facts.
Italy was incredible, and the people were amazing, but holy shit, their food was better. The day that we got into Venice, actually, the guy that worked and owned the B&B that we stayed at, he had no qualms about sort of like making racist statements. We got in there, we went upstairs, and he was like, "Oh, you hungry?" And we were like, "Yeah, we're going to go out and get some food." And he's like, "Don't go to any of the shops along the street." And we were like, "Oh, okay, why is that?" And he's like, "None of them are Italian. Like, they're all like Romanians." And we're just like, "Oh, okay, well, sweet, where do we go?" And he told us where to go, and we went around there, and it was honestly the best Italian we had, maybe even the best like pasta that I had in Italy. But anywho,
would that be the best pasta you've ever had in general then?
From an actual Italian place. What was that? Sorry, Ed?
Would that be the best pasta you've had in general then, like ever?
Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
I'll put it up there for sure. Yeah. I mean, what can you say? Like, pasta in Italy is, pretty unbeatable, really. But anywho. I've got another story about pizza in Italy as well, but I'll say that for another time. Got back and bought all the bits and pieces and actually spent more than I had thought on the computer. So I'm sort of, I guess for me, I don't have many games for PC at the moment. So I've just been going back through and playing games that I do have handy. And picking up a couple cheap games here and there just to kind of, have some fun on this thing. So started with Skyrim, of all things. Which I played for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And was like, oh yeah, cool, it runs it good. Like everything's on max settings and it doesn't even get it, work up a sweat kind of thing. Yeah. Which is pretty cool. Yeah, Skyrim's looking pretty old now, eh?
Yeah, you can see those muddy textures in old 1080p glory.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and I was talking to my girlfriend Casey about it as well, and she's a huge Elder Scrolls fan, as I've probably mentioned a few times. And I was talking, Skyrim's okay, but man, you just see all the strings, It's just the way that Bethesda games are now. And she's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "For example, when I loaded up Skyrim and you do the first couple quests, I was walking past, I don't know, whatever the first city's called, Windhold or Windhelm or River Wind,
Dragonsville.
Yeah, and I look up in the sky, and maybe like 30 meters above me is this little weird black shape. I'm like, what's that? That shouldn't be there. So I run up on kind of the side of the hill to get a better look, and it's just an arrow, like up there in the sky, just floating there, not doing anything. Nothing happened in the game.
It's waiting to hit that guy in the knee.
Who knows?
He walks past.
Oh God, there's something I haven't heard for a few years.
and that's an example of it. But anywho, so I played Skyrim for a bit. Casey's pressuring me to play some Morrowind, which I'll probably do.
Honestly, you feel Skyrim is dated. I have fond memories of Morrowind, and they will forever remain memories, because I know that if I load that game up again, it's going to be arse garbage. Like, it is. I already remember just simple things that were refined a long time ago that game didn't have in them, such as just moving drains stamina. So when your stamina runs out, you just got to stand still. I actually, that's a lie. I think walking doesn't drain stamina, but your stamina doesn't regenerate while you're walking. You have to completely stop moving to regenerate your stamina. So you can sprint for like 5 seconds, get there faster than if you walked, but if you don't get there, you've then got to stand still for 10 seconds for your stamina to regenerate. So it probably actually would have been quicker to just walk there at a snail's pace.
Morrowind's the best game ever made. All right, according to a lot of people.
Honestly, I put God mode on for the duration of my play of Morrowind, getting through it, which sucked because it made me invincible, which I didn't want to be, but it was the only way to stop my stamina running out, so I could actually get from A to B at a reasonable pace.
The thing I remember about Morrowind, I only played it very, very briefly, but the thing I remember, probably not liking at the time, but I really appreciate it now, is just the lack of hand-holding. Just the fact that it'd say, go down this road 50 meters and there'll be a right-hand turn and there'll be a cave just past this tree and that's where the sword is or whatever. It doesn't give you a waypoint, doesn't give you jack shit. You just have to follow these instructions, use your brain, and actually navigate. That's really cool.
That's what they should be, remaking. Not Skyrim HD remake that just, Skyrim already just came out. Remake Morrowind. Incorporate some of the modern gaming conventions, such as not having your stamina, have to stand still to regenerate.
Really cut up about the stamina.
It was so bad. Because also something I really liked about Morrowind that was the kind of ready combat and ready magic system. You didn't have, you didn't just select a spell and use it. You had to select your spell, then sheath your weapon, and then get your hands out in front of you to cast your spells kind of thing. I liked that. I thought that was a cool system that you had to, make that distinct choice. All right, I'm going to approach this with magic or with my weapons kind of thing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really cool stuff in Morrowind, but it just needs a few things updated to be playable. And I'm sure they are updated because it's on Steam, so I'm sure in the Steam Workshop or whatever, there are those mods and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go, Todd Howard. The ball's in your field, mate. Just get us new Morrowind, new vision of Morrowind.
Yeah, exactly. I think there could be a really. It's kind of like the Doom thing, right? They were originally going to remake Doom, and it was going to be that shitty Call of Duty-esque.
Yeah, I remember that. It looked like the most generic piece of crap we've ever seen.
Exactly, and then they made the call, and they were like, no, actually, this is not what we should be doing. Let's scrap it. And they went back and they made it fucking amazing. Perhaps a similar thing could happen on Bethesda's side. It won't, but maybe they should go back to making a game that's kind of, or if they do the next Elder Scrolls, they could have perhaps different game modes, hardcore adventure mode where you're not given waypoints, and they give you instructions on how to get there. That stuff really kind of, from my sort of brief play so far, really adds to that kind of adventure. Experiencing the world,
because it did seem like they were going in a clever direction originally with sort of Oblivion when it came out. They also added waypoints, but the first thing you notice when you load up Oblivion after playing Morrowind is the compass at the bottom, which was where your waypoints were kept. But you didn't have a compass in Morrowind, so when you first started up, you don't think there's going to be waypoints. You just think, oh, that's cool. Now it's actually going to be, I'm not going to have to pause the game and bring up the map to work out where east is. I've got a compass at the bottom of the screen. So kind of adding the compass to Morrowind would be awesome, as long as they also didn't add the waypoints. Yeah. So you still went north 50 meters, then turned northeast and followed the path until you found the tree or whatever. And just having that compass there would make that less pausing and stop starting.
Yeah.
But I just fear that, if they were to update Morrowind, they'd just chuck waypoints everywhere.
I think Bethesda should have a chat with Campo Santo, because the only game I can think of in recent memory that's done something similar to that is Firewatch.
Firewatch, yeah.
Which was I found that really, really fun. That was probably my favourite part of that game.
Yeah, it was cool. It'd be interesting to see how that would work on a world on the scale of something like Morrowind. But
it's like now walk 45 minutes and take the 14th right.
Yeah. But aside from
playing anything else there, Regan?
Yeah. What else did I play? So I had The Witcher 1 and 2, which I had bought from Good Old Games.
Yeah.
But they didn't play on my Mac, which is not surprising. So downloaded them for Windows and did exactly what you guys said you did with The Witcher 1, where you load it up and then play for 10 minutes.
Sword around a bit.
Oh man, the sword twirling is incredible.
We weren't exaggerating.
No, there was no exaggeration. But, you play it for a few minutes and then it just kind of I could persist and I could keep going, but I couldn't do it. So I played The Witcher 1 for about 20 minutes and then closed it. And then started playing The Witcher 2 and was really impressed, actually, with The Witcher 2. The big jump between 1 and 2 on every kind of level. And 2 doesn't feel that far behind The Witcher 3, really, in many regards. There's clunky bits and pieces here and there. Graphics-wise, it looks pretty good.
Now, 2 isn't open world, right?
No, it's kind of open maps.
sort of open
so.
linear kind of thing.
Yeah. So you're taken from area to area, and the areas are, relatively open. You can explore the areas, but they're kind of not actually connected to each other. You can't move from area to area outside of story progression.
Gotcha. So they sort of kept that in The Witcher 3, but just made every area 3 million times as big.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that, yeah. But so The Witcher 2, and I think I'll probably do my best to actually play through that, I think, because it looks really cool. And then, aside from that, Inside, because that was nice and cheap, and I downloaded that and played through it in an evening, and it was very good.
Very good indeed. How much did you get it for?
Did you get it on Steam?
I got it on Steam.
24 or something?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's about what I paid for it as well, I think. Yeah, it's definitely a good price for that amount of value, I think.
Agreed, yeah.
What I got out of that, I was happy to pay $25.
Yeah, it's absolutely sort of one of those cases of quantity or quality over quantity,
Yeah, for sure.
And $25 is not a lot for what is a really great experience that you're going to get out of it. And it certainly leaves you going, what the fuck?
Yeah. I love those games that just leave, open up a conversation and you want to talk about it with people, and Inside was one of those for sure.
Absolutely. I think we need to sit down and have a good chat about that one.
Absolutely. I think we're going to need to get Mike back on board for that, because I think he's been dying to chat with someone about that. Balthazar, have you finished the game now?
I still have not finished it. I lied when I said I was going to go home and start it again from the beginning and go through in one sitting, because I didn't do that. But that's definitely, as I said, that's how I'm going to. I played about half of it, and then I had to stop to do other stuff, and I don't want to carry back on halfway through. I want to have the same experience as you guys and just do it all in one sitting.
Fair play, yeah. Without spoiling anything, towards the end of the game, there's a radical change. That's all I'll say. You have to get to the end of it, because you might. I know you're not the hugest fan of the gameplay and stuff now. It could even change your mind. The end of it, I don't know. It might.
Maybe, yeah.
It added on to what was already a fantastic game. I thought it added on a new level to that, and just made it was just pure joy.
I certainly didn't see it coming.
No,
certainly not. Yeah.
We'll have to book in a spoiler cast for that one, I think.
One thing that I did find interesting about it, and this, I mean, there's no spoilers, and this was kind of, I've played similar games recently, like the one with the ball of twine.
Unravel. Unravel?
Yeah, that's the one. Where you're playing through these levels and that kind of thing. But the thing that got me about Inside was the way that the storytelling was told through the that kind of 2.5 dimension, and the things that were going on behind you. They were really actually kind of crafting a story based on those things, which was really cool. Not something that I had seen necessarily in one of those games before to that extent.
No, not a word of dialogue spoken in that game, I don't think.
No, apart from barking dogs.
Yeah, barking dogs and screaming. That's about it.
Yeah.
Really, it's... Yeah, I can't fault it, to be honest. I don't want to just have this be, massive inside wank fest from me, but I just love it. I thought it was completely perfect.
Totally. You're gonna do a review for it?
I'm not too sure. It's hard, because those games that come along that are just so good or terrible, I don't really feel it's that interesting that I can write that much interesting on those sorts of games. It's the ones that are somewhere in, that have faults or have bad stuff in them as well, that I feel like I can really write something of use to people. So I'm not too sure. I might do. I'll have a think about it, but we'll see. I'm probably, more keen to write stuff about things that are undoubtedly going to have faults, like Call of Duties and things like that. So.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it for me, really, at the moment.
It's you. All right. I've jumped into a couple of things over the last sort of fortnight or 2.5 weeks there. The first thing was the Titanfall 2 multiplayer stress test. It was available last weekend, I think it was, or possibly the weekend prior to that. Now, this is Respawn Entertainment, the guys who sort of splintered off from Infinity Ward when there was all the politics going on within that company. And Titanfall, did you guys ever play much Titanfall or anything? I know it was previously Xbox exclusive, so probably not. Maybe you, Regan, did you?
No,
I never touched it.
No? Titanfall 1 was actually quite good. When I saw it at the E3 it got announced, I thought it was some, Armored Core rip-off trash. And I didn't give it a second glance. But then I had a friend who started playing it, and he was really enjoying it. So I jumped in, and I actually thought it was really cool. It had interesting mechanics with the pilots where you could run around and do like parkour and run off walls and things, and then you jump into the Titans, and the game essentially changes completely, and you're just this big, massive bloody mech, and it turns into like War of the Monsters or something like that. And Titanfall 2 was sort of my first dabble into it on PlayStation, because it hasn't previously been on that console, and I enjoyed it, though I think they've kind of taken some of the interesting stuff out of it. They've sort of made the maps much more open, so there's less of that running around and jumping off walls and stuff like that, and they've sort of just made it Call of Duty with mechs, which is unfortunate because we don't really need another Call of Duty. But it's still a really fun game, and I really enjoyed my time with it. But I really hope they take some feedback on board because I've seen a lot of other people saying the same thing, and they make the levels a bit more claustrophobic and a bit more isometric, so you can run and jump off things and do all the cool stuff as the pilot, and not just because if you're running around as a pilot and there's a bunch of bloody Titans out on the battlefield, you're just going to get completely destroyed immediately, and that's what was happening quite a lot of the time. If you're running across a massive field and there's nothing for you to jump off or walls to run up or anything like that, you just get obliterated by a Titan immediately.
So sort of tried to push it in a direction that it wasn't really meant to go in and ruin their own mechanic.
Yeah, exactly. I think they just tried to, it's the whole sequel-itis where they try and introduce enough things to make it seem fresh and new. One of the things I noticed in the E3 trailer was they're giving the Titans a sword. I didn't see it in the multiplayer stress test, but we'll see how that works out.
Robots with swords,
nothing new. But I remember doing that in Armored Core, and we used to build go on a level with this giant bridge with a big sort of walkway across it, and just have sword battles, and the first person to fall, that was the other person to get a point. We made our own sort of meta game out of that. It was really fun. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. It was a good bit of fun, but nothing that I'd run out and purchase at the moment. The other thing I've been spending a little bit of time in is Battlefield 1. Now the open beta for this was out. I think it might still be running. Actually, it might be going for maybe it's going for a week or something. I'm not too sure. But I think I probably put in about 5 hours of this, and to be honest, about 20% of my attention was actually on the game. I found it one of those games where I just wanted to chuck on a podcast and just sort of blob out and turn my brain off and shoot at people.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks really pretty. It looks like a dice game. It looks and feels quite a lot like Star Wars Battlefront, unfortunately. DICE seem to be notorious at taking things they've done previously and just copy and pasting it into their next project, whatever it may be.
Yeah, reskinning it. Now,
yeah, exactly.
I've got an important question to ask you about this, Abe.
Certainly.
It's one that no one's really been able to clear up for me so far, and I'm sure, given you've played a few hours of it, you can.
Yeah.
Are there horses?
There are horses. Yeah, that was the question?
Yep, that's it.
Really? Oh, yeah, no, there's horses. There's horses almost immediately. You can pretty much get a horse in about 10 seconds.
Oh, awesome. What are they like?
They're fine. I mean, they do horse things. You sort of you can run around on them, and once you jump on a horse, you automatically get a sort of saber, a sword, kind of one of those pirate-looking swords with the sort of
cutlass.
Yeah, the cutlass. That's the one. Yeah, so you automatically get one of those. So I've enjoyed sort of running around and slicing at people. He can only slice off one side of the horse, if I'm not very much mistaken, or maybe I just didn't figure out the button to slice off the other side. So it's sort of a bit awkward when you run up and try and get someone and they go to the other side and just slicing on the wrong side frantically, and you just look like a bit of a munter. But I mean, it's fine. I've spent most of my time just sniping because I enjoy sniping in games like that and just sort of picking people off from a distance. And the bullet drop in Battlefield is always something I've been really, really intrigued by, because it just sort of adds another strategy element to the game. You have to figure out sort of how far away you are and adjust your scope accordingly and muck around with the bullet drop and stuff like that. But it's pretty shallow, to be honest. There's not a huge amount going on. It looks very nice, but it's just another shooter. And every single time a new iteration of Battlefield or COD or anything like that comes out, I'll be like, oh, maybe this one will get me back into multiplayer. And then I'll try it out and be like, nah,
No.
So it's I mean, it's fun if you want to just some mindless hours of shooting at people. But apart from that, no, nothing special. The single player is the thing that I'll be really interested in regarding Battlefield 1, just to see if they do treat it with respect and do it justice.
Because there's obviously going to have to be some kind of narrative there, and when you're dealing with a real war, you're going to want to make sure you treat that well and treat it with respect.
Yeah, exactly. Real war with real guns.
I'm calling it now. It's going to be Captain Arthur von America. And he charges across the trenches, dropping grenades everywhere, is invincible, stands still for 5 seconds to regenerate full health, and just rewrites history.
That would be interesting.
Shooting biplanes out of the sky by loading a sword into a grenade launcher and fucking launching it. Like it's going to be stupid, ridiculous, and people are going to get offended. I'm calling it now.
That'll be interesting, considering I don't think America plays a huge part in this, from what I can tell. The levels that I played was the British versus, I'm not too sure, it was some sort of Middle Eastern.
That's why I said he's going to rewrite history. He's going to place America in all of those battles, and America will have been the turning point that won it secretly behind the scenes in every battle. That'll be this narrative, I almost guarantee, and his arms are going to be bigger than his head.
I'm just hoping for something with the atmosphere and the tone of those little bits in Call of Duty 4 where the nuclear bomb goes off, spoilers, for a game that's like 14 years old or whatever. The nuclear bomb goes off and sort of all hope is lost, and you just see the brutality of war. Just bits like that, and even Modern Warfare 2 where you just get gasoline poured all over you and you get lit on fire and die. Like, that's hardcore shit, and obviously the no Russian mission in Modern Warfare 2 as well, where you shoot up the airport. Like, I really want stuff that's just unrelentingly bleak.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's war, right? So
exactly. That's what I feel we're kind of missing at this point. It's just been a whole bunch of Michael Bay films, translated into I don't know if you guys played the campaign of Battlefield 4, but man, was it boring! It's one of the most boring things I've ever played in my life.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing.
It's so generic.
There was a guy giving away the game recently at work. On the Up for Grabs email group that we have at our work. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll grab that. And he's like, yeah, cool, come over and grab it whenever you're ready. So I walk over to his desk and I'm like, hey, man, I was grabbing that game. And he's like, yeah, sweet, there it is, yeah. He's like, try and enjoy it.
That's never a good sign.
give it your best. It's not great. I was like, oh, the game's a game. He's like, just really bleak about it. I haven't played it. Haven't tried it since then.
Imagine you get gifted a game for Christmas or a birthday, and the person hands it to you and says, "Try it, enjoy it."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was good. It was a good wee moment. Yeah.
The last thing I've been playing, which is probably going to come out of nowhere. Now, I listened to your guys' episode last week where you sort of went into the Time magazine's 50 best video games of all time.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And I mean, I got a little bit offended. I'm going to be honest. I mean, you guys started bagging on a game that's pretty timeless. I actually quite enjoy, and that game is Tetris. Now, granted,
Tetris is shit, mate.
Granted, it's not the most interesting game now. It was innovative as shit back when it was released, and it's still really fun. Like I just to prove a point, I sat down and I went and I played Tetris for about an hour and a half yesterday.
An hour and a half of falling blocks, Abe?
Yes.
What?
I had a really good time. I just Googled play Tetris and I clicked on the first link and I played Tetris for 90 minutes.
Okay,
I had a really good time.
That's
Tetris
cool.
is still
I
solid.
understand that you might feel that it's good fun, but you've got to justify how it's good fun.
Oh, it's definitely not the best video game of all time. Let me just caveat that right now. There's no way in hell it's the best video game of all time. But it's not shit. It's not. It's a good Wii game. It's something on the level of like, it's one of those things like Angry Birds that you pick up and play for a wee bit, or any of those sort of disposable games that that has very simple mechanics, very easy to get a little bit of enjoyment out of, and then you just completely forget about it. But it's good. Tetris is good.
I remain unconvinced. Every time, I remember when I was a kid, I had, one of those little like game brick things that you could buy I might have got it for Christmas or something, and they came with like 100 games on it or something like that, and you can
the one that parents thought were Game Boys.
Yeah, it's the
And
one.
100 games are actually 10 games reskinned 10 different times each.
Yeah,
Block Racer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it had Tetris on it. And I remember, I think my favourite thing about it was that it made funny noises. And so, like, I'd kind of play those games just to hear the ridiculous noises that this little thing would make. But, man, it just, I don't know, there's no pizzazz to it, and maybe that's just because it's old and the concept is old, but, yeah, I guess those kind of, like, in my mind, even, some people will play things like Candy Crush on their phones, where there's like it's a game that's kind of puzzly and that kind of thing, but even that, those kind of games just maybe it's just that I don't enjoy that particular kind of format. But
I have no love whatsoever for Candy Crush. That can take a running leap as far as I'm concerned. I think Tetris, because it was so vanilla and because it just feels so pure and clean. There's no microtransactions. There's none of that bollocks, and it just feels so nice to play a game like that. Just so simple.
I wonder if you could find a version of Tetris that has microtransactions.
Oh, almost certainly. Easily. There'll be Retris or something where someone's taken retro and Tetris and portmanteau. But yeah, I like Tetris, and I'm going to probably keep playing it every now and then if I'm going to be honest. I won't talk about it.
You can do that if you like. That's cool, man.
All right, we better move on to news because there's a wee bit to talk about. That PlayStation Slim that got that bloke in Manchester got off Gumtree. The weirdest. What a reveal for Sony that is. Wow. That's been confirmed as real, and the Eurogamer and a bunch of other sites have done an unboxing of this thing, and I thought that was quite funny. The guy in Manchester posted about it, and then a dude from Digital Foundry turned up at his front door and was like, "Hey, can we have a look at that?" It's very strange. That's the world we live in. Anyway, have you guys had a look at the controller in particular of this thing?
No, I have not.
No, I haven't looked into it at all, to be honest. I've always kind of like, I mean, obviously now it's been confirmed as true, but as soon as those rumors came out, I just sort of almost dismissed them in a way and didn't really even look into them again because these things happen all the time.
Oh, so you thought it was real, or you thought it was fake?
I thought it was bollocks when I first saw it.
Oh, right, yeah.
But turns out it's real. What's the deal with the controller?
So first of all, let's just theorize on how this happened, because I feel like it's a bit of a strange thing and unfortunate for Sony. But I feel like what they were planning to do was distribute it to retailers and things like that, and then at the PlayStation meeting this Friday, we're going to say something like, "It's in stores right now." Do the old Sega Saturn thing, and people are going to lose their shit. Unfortunately, all the wind has been taken out of that announcement now, because everyone, like places like in the UK, Game and CEX are actually selling these things for like ungodly amounts of money, like £600 or something like that.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, apparently it's not illegal to do that. I'm not too sure. I'm sure Sony has probably sent lawyers after them or something, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I think that's what they were probably going for, was the old, it's going to be available right now type thing.
I don't think that's really possible to do that anymore.
No, it's not.
Because, some guy who drives a truck somewhere in Manchester, evidently, is going to go, fuck, those boxes have Sony written on them. I wonder what's in those.
Yeah.
I might just have a quick peek. Oh, shit, new PlayStations. Okay, maybe I'll just say one fell off the back of the truck. It's not. That's going to happen. It's just going to happen.
I like the idea that there's truck drivers out there in Manchester that are also able to identify the new version of the PlayStation 4 from the old version. That makes me really happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I just don't think it's possible these days, and especially with the internet. As soon as one person gets it, that's it. Like it's all over. Yeah.
And exactly, man. Yeah. And do you guys feel? So how is Sony going to address this at their conference? Are they just going to be? Are they going to do a Microsoft wherein with the Slim got leaked before E3 and they just sort of brought it up?
Because Microsoft handled it really well.
They did indeed. Yeah. They sort of just had that screen with all the specs, and they're like, that was the first thing they showed, right? I think at the conference.
Yeah, and they did it in like 2 minutes or less. Like, just moved on straight away.
Yeah, he talked about it for like less than 15 seconds, and then just moved straight on. It was like,
I reckon Sony's going to spend half the conference on it, And they're
No,
gonna be like,
don't say that, Regan.
and they're gonna be like, you didn't know about this. They're gonna play the shit out of it. Like, it's coming now.
Sony's not the big dumb lumbering elephant that they used to be. They're smart. Ever since Jack Tretton took over and sort of, made Sony cool again. He was a cool guy, Jack Tretton. He was a cool dude. And then Sean Layden, he's all right. He's okay. He's fine. He's serviceable.
He looks like an Italian restaurant owner.
And I've heard Jack Tretton described as a sort of mafia businessman. So they're talking about Jack Tretton was the one who organised, the PlayStation 4 to fall off the back of the truck.
Yeah.
All right, boys, let's get these PS4 Slims.
Yeah.
Allegedly. But yeah. I mean, I really hope that's what they go for. They just sort of address it for 20 seconds and then they're like, oh yeah, and now let's talk about Neo, or whatever the hell it ends up being called. So yeah, this is this Friday. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Any sort of prior thoughts on Neo, or what they're going to show off? Are they going to show off new games for it? Are they going to show off old games on it? What's going on?
I think the only way to show the competency of the Neo is to show old games running on it better than they currently do.
Yep.
Because if you show a new game, no one knows. No one knows how it runs on the current system.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So maybe old games / new games, but new games that already existed. So we're just talking about more kind of indie ports from Steam kind of thing, just running, really well. Maybe just stuff running
Rise
at
of the
60
Tomb Raider?
frames.
What about Rise of the Tomb Raider? Because that might be an interesting one.
That game would, on a competent console, that game will be amazing. Because even, oh man, I can't even say this without banging on Xbox, but even on Xbox, it looks great.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I've seen that. It looks like a beautiful game, and the Tomb Raider VR experience is coming out.
I think we'll see a lot of that as well, a lot of VR stuff, because we're not far off PSVR.
Not at all. We're less than I'm not sure when it's coming out in October. It's early October, I think, or early to mid. So no, we're not far off at all, which is pretty exciting actually.
I think. I wonder if maybe, because am I right in saying that the PSVR comes with another little box that kind of boosts it to be able to run on a normal PlayStation 4? Is that there's something like that?
I can't remember if it comes with that. It doesn't come with. I remember it doesn't come with some of the stuff you'd expect it to come with. It doesn't come with Move controllers. I know that.
Yeah.
The sort of box. It doesn't come with PlayStation Eye. No, I think it does come with that little box you're talking about. It just doesn't come with PSI.
I just wonder if they'll have, they'll have bundles. There might be a bundle where it's you can get a Neo and all the bits and pieces you need for PSVR.
Oh, I'm certain there would be. I'm crying over how much that's going to cost over here though. Imagine, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility
to Call of Duty game, I reckon.
It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to say about $1,500.
I'd agree.
To be honest,
I reckon so too.
That is ludicrous for anything concerning gaming. No.
Which puts it in the realm of why don't you just build yourself a PC and get an Oculus Rift or something?
Or Vive, even better.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. It's exciting because obviously the market's quite volatile in terms of competition and all that kind of stuff. So they're really going to have to bring something really good.
Yeah, I mean, Sony's, if their E3 press conference has been anything to go by, they're bringing their game at the moment. That was a hell of a press conference. It was just classy. Just super, super classy. Just the theatre they had set up, the live orchestra and, the God of War chanting and everything like that. Just awesome. Just really good effort from those boys.
Wailing at the top of his lungs.
Oh yeah, that beatboxing lady. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was amazing. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. That'll be this Friday for us, Thursday for America. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that and see next time we chat. Neo's probably going to be a thing. Very interesting.
I hope they rename it to the PlayStation Keanu Reeves.
The PlayStation sad sack. And I mean, on a similar note, Tokyo Game Show that's coming up this month as well. That's the week after PlayStation meeting, I think. So Balthazar, you got any thoughts on that?
Not really.
No.
To be honest, like I just
NX.
I'm hoping there'll be some NX stuff there. That's obviously the console that I'm most excited about at the moment, being the only one I'm likely to look at picking up in the future.
Yep.
So really, I'm just wanting to see, and I think TGS is historically would be one of the most logical and best places to reveal new Nintendo IP, but actually now that they're doing almost every announcement through that Nintendo Direct stuff they do, I don't really know if we're going to be seeing that there, so I don't know, I'm just kind of waiting to see what does happen.
Yeah, there was that recent Nintendo Direct which was all 3DS based, and it was I didn't think it was possible to top the terribleness of the Pokemon Sun and Moon, the Nintendo E3 Direct, but this actually topped it. It wasn't. It was just terrible. It's just so boring and anticlimactic. They talked about that Metroid game for ages.
Oh, yeah, that one that nobody asked for.
Yeah,
ever.
the one that people got pissed because they're like, new Metroid game. Everyone's like, oh my god. And then they're like, oh, and it's like Chibi Metroid. It's like, oh god,
when
why?
nobody is Samus and everybody's terrible.
Yeah.
And comes with the free mini game that they showed at E3 like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Whatever that was, that fucking shoot the ball around the arena game.
What games would you guys really like to see on NX as launch titles? Because
I want to see one of each of their big IPs. Like,
yeah.
If they did that, then they've sold me right out of the gate. Like, so you get one Mario, one Zelda. Zelda's obviously coming.
Yep.
One Metroid, one Donkey Kong, and you pretty much that's pretty much all I need, really.
I feel like that's a big ask because obviously we know Zelda's on the way. That's a given.
Yeah.
But we haven't heard any whisperings of anything else.
No.
There's always a Mario title in development.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Just perpetually.
It'll be Mario NX, and they'll call it Mario NX because they, for some reason, decide to go that way now. They call things Mario Wii U or Wii U Brothers or whatever the hell that one's called.
Yeah, that'd be. And so if, all right, let's say in a couple of weeks' time after the show's done, that we're getting, let's say the Zelda and Mario, you're getting those two. Would that be enough to sell it on you for you?
If they had those two plus the ability to access previous Nintendo games, yes. Which is something that's the number one thing I'm hoping for with this console, is the ability to just play things from GameCube, play things from 64. That's what I want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's all I want.
Yeah. What about if they opened up like the 3DS store as well, so you could play 3DS games on it on your couch?
Oh, I'd be well keen for that. I'm not sure if that'd be a selling point, because those games are still obnoxiously expensive over here.
Yeah, they
$80 to $90 for 3-year-old games because Nintendo doesn't devalue. But that'd be cool. Like that wouldn't be something that I'd be bagging on them for or anything. It'd be a cool feature. Regan, are you interested at all in NX or?
Yeah. I mean, aside from a 3DS, I've never. And way back in the day with a Nintendo 64, never really done the Nintendo thing. It was always Sega when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
And then and then PlayStation came along and rocked the boat. Maybe we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like, that Zelda game looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
And that in itself is almost enough for me to want to go. Yeah, to want to dive in on it.
Well, if you're a Sega fan, then the new Sonic is coming to Nintendo.
Yeah, it's probably going to be shite though. To be honest,
they've gone back to the side-scrolling platforming Sonic.
They have,
so at least that's something.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. That's sounding really cool. A good Sonic game would be great. Actually, is it the guy? Maybe I'm just making this up in my head, but there was a guy that made like a port of one of the early, or a remake of one of the early Sonic games, and he was just like a super fan.
Yeah, it is that guy. It's that same dude. They just sort of let him do his thing, and then I think they maybe backed him with some more resources or something, and it's his baby pretty much.
Amazing. Yeah. So just make a Sonic game. Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. No, like that's not something you come to expect from I was going to say a big company. Sega's not a big company anymore.
Yeah.
They're all right. They're all right size, I guess.
They're our company. I guess.
They're definitely a company. Yeah. Anytime I see Sega or Sega on a game case, I immediately just think, oh, this is going to be arcadey and terrible. Like that's just a thing. Like it's existed for years now. So if they can turn that around, I'd be really keen on a new Sonic because I like Sonic.
Isolation was Sega.
That's true. That's a good point actually, and that was really good. So yeah, it's just going to be interesting. The other thing about NX I wanted to talk about was there's been some more rumors, which is, man, there's been a lot of bloody rumors for this thing. We need to stop talking about NX rumors because it's just not going to stop. But the last rumor I'll talk about is that it's almost confirmed now that it's going to take cartridges. They're going back to cartridges now. And I mean, that's not a huge surprise considering the 3DS did. But
and that rumor's been around pretty much as long as the NX.
Yeah. I mean, it was. It did start quite a couple of years ago, kind of thing. But it's pretty much confirmed now. I think Eurogamer and some other guys had an article on it from their source. So they're going to take little flash discs, I would assume, and stack things onto that. I mean, that's kind of cool. I like the whole physical feeling of cartridges, to be honest. Like the old SNES when you jam a cartridge into the machine and just flip the on switch, and it feels like you're tearing down a tree or something. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it says a bit as well. Maybe the cartridge technology has come a long way since I ever used a cartridge.
Yeah,
but it says a bit about kind of the level of games that they'll be going for, unless there's a digital store where you can download, larger things. But I mean, it's kind of maybe limiting the capability of it a little bit.
I think so. Like, what's the biggest? Because if you think of a flash disc or like an SD card, like something you put in your camera, the biggest ones of those you can probably get are about 64 gig or something.
You could probably, maybe 128 gig, maybe.
I mean, that's pretty massive. Like considering a Blu-ray is 50.
Yeah, I suppose.
But I assume if we're talking about Nintendo, I don't think they'll be any bigger than about maybe, if you're lucky, like 20 gig. So that sounds about right. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting if they start selling, going by that medium and selling tiny little cases, like equivalent to 3DS kind of thing, and then of course the whole mobile aspect, what they're going to do with that, whether you dock it in a station and then you can play it on your TV, which seems to be what it's going to be, something like that.
There's still so many unanswered questions about
it. There really is. There's no point really talking about it anymore, to be honest. It's just spitting in the wind at this point. Now, Balthazar, with this year, the World of Warcraft.
Yeah. I just thought it's more of just like an amusing anecdote rather than anything. It's not news because really I think most people were pessimistic from the start about it. New World of Warcraft expansion Legion came out. All the diehard fans of the franchise really genuinely believed, or maybe just so strongly hoped that it people interpreted it as genuine belief that it would reinvigorate subs for the game, which have been dropping rapidly over the past few years. It didn't. That's it, really. I just thought that was pretty funny. Everyone was so certain this was going to be the thing that got everyone back into WoW again, and it got no one back into WoW again.
How many years old is WoW originally? It came
I'd
out
say over 10. Well, no, maybe I'd say it was like 2006, maybe, that it came out.
Yeah, I think it might even be older than that. I remember the South Park episode on World of Warcraft, and that probably would have been around for a couple of years when that came out. And that
November 23rd, 2004. So almost 12 years now.
Jesus. So, I mean, when you say the subs have been dropping off, I assume it's still got like millions and millions of players.
I would assume so as well. I don't know. I just know they used to be sort of, everyone heard the stories. They were the undisputed king of the MMO genre. And now there's just kind of that grey area where no one's actually sure if they have the most subs of any subbed MMO anymore. A lot of sites out there citing that Final Fantasy XIV has vastly exceeded WoW in active subs these days. But the thing is, no one ever gives numbers. They always say, they're dropping by millions, but no one says what, the context of that. Like, okay, they lost 2 million subs in the past 6 months. What percentage of their player base was that kind of thing? How many subs do they still have? They never released those numbers.
Right.
So, not really sure. It's just basically Legion came out. There was no spike in subs. Maybe a few people who were just waiting for Legion to come out to renew their subscription renewed it, but certainly it didn't get back all those lost players who were leaving because there was just, I don't know why they were leaving, because I left back when the first expansion came out in 2006 or whatever. But yeah, there was no significant spike, which I just thought was pretty funny because everyone was adamant that this would be the thing. This would reinvigorate it and breathe life back into the game.
The last time I remember WoW being featured in the news was that Mists of Pandaria.
Kung Fu Panda.
The Kung Fu Panda DLC, yeah.
Oh,
and that
bizarre.
that was a while ago, and that's the last time I ever remember WoW being, in the news at all, really.
I feel like it's old enough now that they need to just kind of let it rest and perhaps make a new MMO.
Oh, they tried. Titan.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it failed miserably.
Overwatch was made out of the leftover assets from what was going to be their new sci-fi MMO Titan.
Oh, okay.
And they just basically hit the realization that in modern day gaming economy and atmosphere, you can't make a subscription-based MMO anymore. So like, fuck it, let's just make a team-based shooter.
And
so they did. And they did really well with that. Honestly, I think from here, and I know I'm not alone in this thought process, and a lot of people believe this is what they were going to do, is you release Legion, see what happens to the numbers. They didn't jump as people thought they would. So leave that there for about 6 months until the people who resubbed for Legion start unsubbing again. And then when things start dying down, because they've already said, I'm pretty sure they're never releasing another expansion. Legion was the last one. So as things start to die down again, do the final thing you can do with an MMO. Free to play, no more sub, and just introduce microtransactions in an in-game store or something like that.
That's pretty much the economy we're looking at.
Yeah, so just get rid of the sub. I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if this time in 2017 it had gone free to play and had a in-game shop that you could buy, buy your way to maximum level and buy armor sets and stuff like that to just keep money coming in. And probably you'll see the servers drop instead of, the 100 servers they have, they'll have like 20 or something more manageable number to just run and drop the sub. That's my prediction.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I think that's pretty much all we've got for this week. I think. Anyone else got anything?
I was wondering if we wanted to either start them now or just plug that we're going to be starting our top 10 lists.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're going to have enough time this one. But yeah, definitely start plugging it. Yeah, so we've decided to do a bit of a history type piece of content here, and we're going to be going through our personal top 10 lists over the next 40 podcasts, I guess. That seems a long way into the future, but yeah. I think one of us we're going to take turns, and the end of each podcast, we're going to talk about a game that sort of stuck with us and influenced us and made us the sort of person we are today. So I think Balthazar, you're going to kick us off next week, man, with your
right.
one of your games. I mean, it's not an order. It doesn't have to be 1 to 10. It's just 10 games.
So mine's definitely not in an order. It's just the 10 games that had the biggest impact on me.
It's going to be Azura's Wrath, isn't it?
That would be number 1 if I were to order games.
But yeah, we'll be kicking that off 2 weeks' time with our next podcast. So that'll be really cool. And in other news, we've actually started regularly producing content, I would say, or semi-regularly.
Yeah.
Balthazar and Regan and Mike jumped in on the old Deus Ex review, Mankind Divided review. That's up on the site there. You check that out. Regan's also done a fantastic wee article on keeping up your gaming whilst gallivanting around the globe.
It's tough. It's tough work, but check it out. Yep.
A good few mobile game recommendations in there. And I did one on sort of gaming critics that I like to follow, and the people who actually contribute something actually worthwhile to the conversation. And that's also available on the site. So yeah, check those out if you'd like. And we're available on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So have a go. I'm not going to plug our YouTube URL again because it's ungodly. So, yeah, that's about all we've got time for this week, guys. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. See you later.
Bye. Bye.